come on. Sorry about that, folks. So, there's some people out there who actually think that there's a set of characteristics that could define or signify that a person is gay or straight. Now seriously, I don't have a clue what they're talking about there. But if you remember back into our early weeks of semester, what we were talking about was something else that had a defining set of characteristics which was said to exist and exhibit and display a particular kind of identity. Do you remember what it was very early on that we were talking about that had these set of characteristics? That's right, it's gender. And we talked about gender there being socially constructed. Now, if we were talking about that set of gendered characteristics, then perhaps we can also have another set of characteristics to do with sexuality. So if back then we said that gender was socially constructed, here right now we can also say that sexuality, or should I say sexualities, are also socially constructed. So this week we're actually going to do three things. First thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to that idea of that continuum where we saw heterosexuality, homosexuality, female, male, femininity, masculinity along the continuum. We're going to go back to that continuum and we're going to have a look at it in terms of sexualities. Now, it seems a good point for me to ask, for you to ask me actually, why are you saying now sexualities? Well, the reason I'm saying sexualities is because if people live out their desires and construct their sense of sexuality or their sense of self along a variety of different ways. So by just saying that there is only one sexuality, we always go back to the one that is normally or normatively accepted. Now, we've talked about this a few times this semester. So that fallback position becomes heterosexual and heterosexuality. So talking about this week's topics in terms of sexualities actually opens up our conversations around different kinds of sexual identities, different kinds of sexual desires. And it makes problematic in some ways this notion that heterosexuality is the norm, or that we should be actually trying to just deal with the complexities of non-normative sexualities in different kinds of ways. Which brings us to our next area of investigation, and that is in relation to, well, look at this, check this out, how a row of letters that doesn't mean anything, or doesn't spell a word, hi Sadie, can actually have so much meaning, so much power for some millions and millions of people around the world. So we're going to be taking a look at the ways in which sexualities are defined and described. And earlier on in the semester, we had a little bit of a look at some work of Sam Kellerman. He's Genderbread Man, absolutely fantastic. He's actually got a book out now that deals with gender and must read, by the way. But he's got a great blog there that talks about the key terms that are associated with sexualities and gender identification. So I'd really encourage you to go there and have a look. His website is called It's Pronounced Metrosexual. So once you take a look at that, what you'll need to do next is do the reading for this week. And the reading for this week actually deals with the ways in which young people experiencing any one of these letters might experience the school-based settings. So what is it that schools are doing and not doing with regards to education around sexualities, and how is it that young people are experiencing their sexuality within broader society, and what is the effect of that on them? And particularly, as we're interested in health, we're interested in around sexual health and the sexual health of young people. So make sure you do the reading. Take a quick look at Sam's great little blog title. You'll find it straight up. It's one of his most popular ones there. And I will see you later in the week. In the meantime, Sadie and I are off to dance.